Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Eberechi Igwe Obuna and I'm the creative director of EREX Academy of Fashion, a fashion school based in Enugu South Eastern Nigeria. I'm also a writer of the book Pattern Making for the Shapely African Woman and Advanced Pattern Mastery for the African Woman. So today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a 12-piece madam blouse. So if you want to learn how to make a 12-piece madam blouse like these ones my students have been showcasing, keep watching this video and don't just stop. So the first thing we're going to do is that we're working with a shoulder darted pattern. So just follow me through. If you've not watched my shoulder darting video, just check the link in the video to watch the shoulder darting video. So I'm actually going to start from the very scratch to do the shoulder darting technique. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to establish our lines. After taking the accurate body measurements, we're going to mark out our lines. We'll mark out from the upper edge of the paper. We'll call the upper edge the neckline. Neckline, shoulder line, chest line. I'm using 6 inches from the upper edge as the chest line. Then for the armhole line, I'm using high waist divided by 2. So the high waist position is 17 inches. So I'm doing 17 inches divided by 2 to give me 8.5. Then the bust position is 10.5. 8.5, 6, 1. So usually I like to write the numbers on one side so that by the time I'm doing the other side it will be a lot easier for me. So the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to mark the under bust position, which is 14, high waist position, which is 17. Then the full length, we're going to use 5 inches below the high waist. We're going to use a full length of 22 inches. However, we're going to increase the length by an extra 2 inches because of the flare effects that we wish to add. We increase the length by an extra 2 inches and still add an extra ½ inch hemming allowance. So finally we're going to use the full length of the paper for the blouse itself. So now we're going to come over to the middle and we're going to do the same thing on the middle. So we're going to take some time on that. So if you're new to my channel, please like this video and subscribe to this channel. I share a lot of valuable and very detailed tutorials on this channel. You can check out my previous videos to see the value that I share on this channel. Okay, so I've done it at the beginning, the middle, and then the end. So I'm just going to go ahead to connect all the lines together. Okay, so now we're done establishing or marking out our lines. So I'm going to start from the front to do my shoulder darting effect. So this is what we're going to do. For the front, I'm going to use a neck width of 2.5 inches. You can use whatever neck width you want, but just make sure that the front neck width is ½ inch smaller than the back neck width. So I'm going to use 2.5 inches for the front. That's the neck width of the front from center front to this side. Then the neck depth, I'm just going to use 5 inches for the neck depth of the front. Then I can just draw in my circular neckline. It's just what I want for this particular tutorial. So I'm just using a round neck. So I'm going to have a shoulder. I have a shoulder of 7 inches. I'll mark my shoulder. Then I'll connect it to this place. Okay, so now that I have connected it, I actually want to make a shoulder darted blouse. Because I want to make a shoulder darted blouse, I'm going to extend it. I've connected it here, but I'm going to extend it. Now let me explain. Now for our 12-piece madam blouse, we're going to add an extra 5 cm. We work with both sides of the tape, the front and the back. So I'm going to add an extra 5 cm for slim and medium sized people, and I'll add an extra 7 cm for plus size, very busty people. So for this person I'm working with, I'm going to use 5 centimeters. So you can see from here to here, we'll add 5 cm. If you add anything more than 5 cm, you're going to have a gaping effect, and that is not good at all. So I'm going to call here A, I'll call here B. So I'm going to find the middle of A and B. So this is 6.5, so the middle is going to give us 3.25. So I can call that point C. So I'm going to find the nipple to nipple. The nipple to nipple we're working with is 7 inches. So 7 inches divided by 2 will give us 3.5, and we're just going to go ahead to mark it. Connect it all the way from this chest line to the hemline of the blouse. So now that we've connected it, this is the nipple point, the intersection of the bust point, the intersection of the dart line and the bust point. That's the nipple point. So we go up by 1.5 inches. We go up by 1.5 inches and connect it, and then now we're going to go ahead to share our darts, 2.5 centimeters to the left and 2.5 centimeters to the right, so that we can have our 5. So that extra 5 that we added, we don't need this one actually. It was only the 5 cm that we added that we're going to use. So that extra 5, you can see that we shared it to the left and to the right. 2.5 centimeters to the left, 2.5 centimeters to the right. So you can see we now have a shoulder dart. So we're going to go ahead to connect our chest line. On our chest line, the normal measurement for the chest line is shoulder divided by 2. Shoulder divided by 2 minus 0.5. So we're supposed to have 6.5 on the shoulder. So I have 6.5 on the shoulder. So from here to here, I had 4. So we're going to shade out here so that you can know that this is a dart, it's not the actual measurement. So I have 4. I'll jump and pass this dart area to give me my 6.5. Alternatively, you can measure your total 6.5. Then you now measure this area so that you can replace it. So it gives us the same thing. So I'm just going to go ahead to connect it together. Then after connecting it, I'll bring this line down. Then we're going to go ahead to mark the round bust divided by 4. Round bust divided by 4, that gives us 8.5, right? So 8.5. You connect it. You can use your bare hand or you can use your front cup, whichever one you want to do. You go ahead and do it. So we go ahead to connect this one. Just drag a straight line down, no need to slant or alter and the rest of them. So at the full length line, what we mark here is round bust divided by 4, which is our 8.5 inches plus 3 inches, and that gives us our 11.5 inches. So I'm going to use a ruler to connect from the bust point, from bust area to the full length, and then of course to the hemline. Go ahead to connect all. So this is the EREX pattern. We leave our main pattern to be shapeless first before we start shaping, because we want the side pieces to have exactly the same shape to enable us to join it very easily. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to draft the back while the front is still looking this shapeless. So for my back pattern now, I'm going to mark the zip allowance of 1.5 inches. I'm going to mark a zip allowance of 1.5 inches. I don't need a zip for this piece because we're eventually going to add a zip to the front piece. Sorry, I didn't add the zip to the front piece. I'll just put an extension for the zip for that front piece, so that's no problem. So now, since I use a neck width of 2.5 in front, I'm going to use a neck width of 3 inches at the back. So 3 inches, then the neck depth, whatever it is you want to do. You want it to be deep, you do it. You want it to be high, you do it. Whatever it is you want it to be. So I'm not focusing on that one right now. So we'll have our shoulder of 7 inches. You're starting from this center back line. This is your CB, your center back line. You don't have business with the zip you go ahead to connect it. There is no shoulder darting on the back. You're only doing your shoulder dart at the front. So on the chest line, you're also going to mark exactly your shoulder divided by 2. Shoulder divided by 2. On the armhole line, you still mark your shoulder divided by 2. Still on the same armhole line, you're going to mark your round bust divided by 4, which is 8.5. So you can see you have this 4 dotted lines. So we'll go ahead to connect them together. So you can see how it looks. We can use our French curve or our bare hand to do the curve and blend it well. So you also drag this one down. The same measurements you have on the armhole line is also the same measurements you're going to have on the bust line. So on the full length line and the hemline, indeed, what you're going to do is that you're going to mark round bust divided by 4, which is 8.5, plus an extra 3 inches. So we connect it to the bust area. So you can see the two sides already have the same shape. There's no alteration, there's no squeezing, and the rest of them, they have the same shape. So now we're going to do what we call waist shaping. Waist shaping is the aim of waist shaping is to share the dart and put the actual high waist measurement so that it won't be this shapeless and this big. The first step in waist shaping for our 12-piece Madame blouse is to minus 3 from the high waist measurement. We're subtracting 3 because by the time we're done adding the flare, it would increase the waistline of the blouse, and we don't want the waistline of the blouse to be increased. So assuming round high waist minus 3 inches, that's the first step in our high waist shaping for our 12-piece Madame blouse. So assuming I have a round high waist of 30, I'll do 30 minus 3. It will now give me 27. So when I get 27, I'm going to mark 27 divided by 2. 27 divided by 2 will give me 13.5 inches. You just follow the maths. Easy. It's very easy to follow through. So if you have any questions, please ask in the comment section. Do not send me a DM for questions, just send it in the comment section. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe to this channel, like and share this video. Thank you. So let us start looking for 13.5 because that is the essence of our high waist shaping. So we start from the center front to start measuring. I'm looking for 13.5. okay, so follow me. I've gotten 10. I'm going to jump over this gap here. This gap is useless to us. I'm going to jump over this gap and I'll continue from where I stopped. I got 10 here. I'm now looking for 13.5. So I've gotten 13.5. So what it means is that every other thing after here now is excess. We're not counting our zip allowance. So from here to here, we have excess. Now this excess is going to be measured in centimeters. So I'm going to take my measuring tape and measure it in centimeters. So I have 17 centimeters excess. Okay, just follow through. You follow this pattern step by step, you're going to get it exactly how it should be. 17 centimeters excess. So now let us share. Let us start sharing our dart. We have dart ranges for different sizes. So for this particular size of round bust 34, we have a range of 6 centimeters. So I have a video that shows those dart ranges for different bust sizes, so you can just follow through or you just work with your own dart ranges. So I have 6 centimeters for bust size of 34. So on the high waistline, I'm going to share 2 cm to the left, then I'll share the rest to the right. So 2 cm, 4 cm, I'm going to share it. So because I want like it to attach a flare effect eventually, I'm going to drag down my dart. This is still on our high waist shaping. So we are taking our deductions from that 17 centimeters excess. So out of that 17, I have taken 6 centimeters for the front darting. I've taken 2 to the left and 4 to the right. So I'm going to connect it to the under bust. You can use the straight line to do this connection really. So you connect it to the under bust. Please do not connect it to the bust area. So 17 minus 6, you have 11. Okay, so you are left with 11. At the back, I'm going to do 2 centimeters each. So from the center back line, remember I told you don't have business touching the zip line for now. So from the center back line, you measure nipple to nipple divided by 2 plus 0.75 inches. You know what, let me just go ahead and do the back shaping. If you check our 12-piece madam blouses, you can see that it sits very well. So let me do the back shaping before this so that I don't confuse you with the dart positioning and all of that. So from this our center back, I'm going to measure 0.75 because that is EREX standard of back zip shaping. So I'll measure it on the bust, under bust, and on the high waistline. Can you see? 1, 2, 3 points. That is our standard, and that is how we get our blouses to sit thoroughly well at the back. So you connect them with a straight line, then you now connect the last one to the hemline. Can you see how I connected it? If you follow through, I assure you, you're going to have very, very good results for your work. So you connect. So just know that we're not going to use this part. Maybe we'll add sewing allowance from here, but we won't use it again. So I can just, let me not shade off so that we don't cancel out. So when I want to measure my dart position for my back, I won't start from here again. I'm going to start from here, the new line. I'm going to start from new line. I'm going to mark 3.5. I'm going to mark 3.5, then mark 3.5, and mark my 3.5. Then I'll use a metal roll to just drag the line all the way down and all the way up. So can you see it? So I said we're going to use a dart of 2 cm left and 2 cm to the right. 2 cm left, 2 cm to the right. So we're going to connect it to the armhole. Connect to the armhole. Connect to the armhole. Then connect to the hemline. You're not dragging this one straight, actually. You're going to connect to the hemline. This one will be pointy. This one is going to be straight. I hope you understand. Okay, so that's just about it. Then I want to have a shoulder cut at the back. I don't want to have a shoulder dart. There's a dart on the shoulder in front, but I want a cut on the shoulder at the back, on the back shoulder. So I'll just take one of these slants and extend it. There's no hard and fast rule about it really. However, if I want them to connect, if I want the two shoulders to connect, this is what I'm going to do. From my neck width here, I'll measure, I have 2.5 here. So I'm going to measure 2.5 here. If I want them to connect, I'll measure 2.5 here. So that by the time we'll connect the two shoulders, it will go ahead, it will just connect. So you bend this way and connect. Okay, so that's just about it. So we'll have a cut at the back and we'll have a dart in front. So because the back doesn't have a boss and all that, so we'll just go ahead and okay, so now we're done with the highway, we are done with the dart sharing of the darts. So we had 11 and we have removed 2, so we've removed a total of 4. So we now have 7 cm left. Let me tell you what we're going to do to the 7 cm. We're going to use it to shape the two sides. So I'm going to take the 7 cm and divide it by 2, and I'm going to have 3.5 centimeters. 3.5 centimeters. So I'm going to take in 3.5 centimeters to the front and 3.5 centimeters to the back also. So you see 3.5 centimeters. So now you've taken it in, you connect it to the bust point, you go ahead and connect it to the hemline. This is very, very easy. If you can have the patience to see through this video, watch it and practice it, I assure you, you will get exactly the same result as my students at EREX Academy of Fashion. So you're looking for a physical fashion school to enroll in, enroll with us at 48 Nine Street, opposite Crane School, Ogun New Layout, Enugu. So you can now see that the front has the same shape as the back. You're not going to be struggling with, oh, the front is straight, the back is very curvy, you now start struggling. No, you're not going to have those struggles. So this is basically what we have. So next thing I'm going to do now is our underbust shaping. I will not do any subtraction. There is no subtraction for that one because that flare effect doesn't add anything to the underbust. So we're going to do the underbust shaping, and just as usual, Okay, we have an underbust of 30 as well. So since you're not subtracting, you just go ahead and divide by 2 to give us 15. Let us start looking for 15 together, shall we? So of course we'll cancel out this line. This is no longer our line. It's no longer important to us. The line we need now is this inside line. The inside line is now the most important line. So the underbust shaping is going to happen at the underbust line. So we're going to take the measuring tape and measure till we get to the side. So we'll have about 8.5 or 8.6, 8.5. So I'm going to hold the tape and continue here at the back. So we'll continue at the back. We'll get to this point. We have 12.1. You jump over these darts. You don't have business with these darts. You jump over because you stitch it out or you cut it out. So you jump over and continue until you have 15. I've gotten exactly 15. I've gotten exactly 15, but then I need to share a dart for that underbust, so I can pay it. I can easily pay for it. So I'm just going to share the same 2 and 4, even though nothing was remaining. I'll share 2 and 4 for it. So connect, then use a French curve or your bare hand to connect here. So what it means now is that you're owing 6 centimeters. So you can pay in front, you can pay 3 here. Okay, so you can pay here, you can add it up here and add it up here eventually before you start joining. So I can just do my addition of 3, then add 3 here. I'll have to retake that measurement to be sure that it rhymes. This looks a bit odd, so it might be that the measurements I used didn't really work, and you know that subtraction we did on the high waist, it affected it a little bit, but we'll go ahead with it. This is for a very slim person. If it was for a plus size person, we will not be having much of this issues. Okay, so it looks odd, yes it does, but by the time you're done with it, everything is just going to turn out to be very fine. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is that we're going to share this waistline A and B. So we share the waistline A and B. So we'll have 3.5 here. We'll find the middle, so it will give us like 1.75. So 1.75 is the middle of the waistline here. So we share it. So we drag we'll drag the line down and drag the line up. Just about before the bust line, you stop and give the curve. So you're going to have an extension on the armhole area. Really, you're going to have an extension on the armhole area. So you're having an extension on the armhole area. So we're going to do about 1 inch extension. Then we'll bring it back to the armhole proper. Then we'll now add our sewing allowance. We're going to add a sewing allowance of, okay, so you see this 0.75 at the back. We're going to pay for it. You know there's a shortage here. We've shortened the back by 0.75. We'll pay for it in front so that the front will be fuller than the back because of the bust. So instead of adding a sewing allowance of 2 inches, we are going to add a sewing allowance of 2 inches plus 0.75. That's 2.75 inches in front. So please note the 2.75 inches in front is not a sewing. It is not the 0.75 inches in front is not a sewing allowance. It's just payment for the back zip shaping. So you connect it. You can use your ruler and connect it. It might seem a bit odd at first. Yes, it might seem a bit odd, especially for slim people. But please just follow through. You get it eventually. So from the hemline now, from the full length line, you can go up by 1 inch. Then you blend back in. You can use your French curve to do this. There's no hard and fast rule about it. So you go to the back, add your sewing allowance of 2 inches, 2 inches, I know you're going to be wondering why didn't you just do away with the 6 centimeters underbust shaping? Why did you have to go ahead with it even though you didn't have enough? It's very, very important. We're drafting a pattern for a shapely African woman, and you cannot afford to ignore certain things. You can't afford to ignore things as important as the underbust shaping, high waist shaping, and the rest of them. So from the full length line, we'll connect 1 inch up. We curve. I've spent a lot of time going through to do the shoulder darting and all of that. So I'll find the middle of this one, 3.5. So it's now give us 1.75. So if you drag your line, this is going to give us a 12-piece effect really. Because from this front now, we're going to have about 6 panels, back 6 panels. Then you connect it here, drag it to the armhole line, extend it by 1 inch, curve it back, and so you can see what we have. So I'm going to just label it. I'm going to call this CF, center front, then side front 1, side front 2, then call here center back, side back 1, side back 2. Then we're going to add our sewing allowance to the back, because the back is going to have a sewing allowance, because we're going to cut it into pieces. In as much as it's not going to have a zip, it's going to have a sewing allowance of 1/2 inch. So we're going to follow the slanted line. You see that slanted zip shaping line? We're going to follow it, and we're going to do our markings. Oh, sure. So see, you don't have business here. You don't have business with this extra area now. Your only business is with the sewing allowance and then the main measurement. So I can actually go ahead to cut off this part. So I don't want to cut it off yet, so I'll just leave it so far. So now that we've gotten to this point, what else is remaining? Yes, so we're going to, for this part, we're going to do plus 4 inches to the front. On the height, that's plus 4 inches at the tips. All the parts where there's going to be joining, we're going to add 4 inches in front. All the parts where you have joining will have 4 inches to the front. Then all the parts where you have joining at the back will add 5 inches to the back, except the center back, because it's going to make it too dramatic at the center back. The center back kind of needs to relax. Plus 5 inches, plus 5 inches. So that's how we're going to do it. I'm going to show you how to add one of the sewing allowances. Then of course we're going to add 0.5 inches sewing allowance all through. So all the parts where you're going to join, you're going to add 0.5 inches sewing allowance to it. So we're going to be having a gaping effect in the front because there's going to be a zipper there. So it's going to lead us to having a gaping effect, and we don't want to have a gaping effect in front. So we're going to dart the front. Then we're now going to add a provision for sewing allowance. I usually prefer to add my sewing allowances to my patterns without I prefer to add my sewing allowance to my patterns before anything. So let me do my darting. Then now I can pick any points in this neckline. I can pick up somewhere here, come out by say 2 inches. You can see my slant, so you can just extend it by say 2 inches. Then we'll now do the actual dart. Your dart is going to be 0.25 to the left, 0.25 to the right, making it a total of 1/2 inch. It will not reach 1 inch, it's just 1/2 inch. We just need a dart of 1/2 inch. And we can go ahead to close it up and redraw this neck. So close it up and redraw this neckline. So you can see it. I can eliminate here, I don't need here, I can eliminate here. So that's what our front is going to look like. So I'll just label my 1.5 inches zip allowance. I'll add 1.5 inch zip allowance in front because I'm making this outfit for an African woman who might at some point require that her zipper will be changed or sewing allowance added and all of that and all of that. So I'm adding 1.5 inches zip allowance. I don't want to do an invisible zip stitching technique. I don't want to lock in the zipper from there. So this is the basic pattern for our 12-piece madam blouse. Okay, so I'm going to cut it now and you're going to follow through. If you've not subscribed to my channel at this point, you are wrong. So like this video, subscribe to this channel, and let's get moving and learn together. So if you're in Enugu and looking for a standard fashion school where you would like to learn fashion designing, pattern drafting, do your upgrade, EREX Academy of Fashion is the right place for you. My book, Pattern Making for Shapely African Woman, is available on Amazon. It's also available in Nigeria, and the other one for the advanced students that contains wedding dresses, bomber jackets, jumpsuits, and the rest of them is also available in this copy. We have this hard copy too. You can order it on Amazon as well. So this is what our center front is going to look like. So we've eliminated our back, you can see. We've eliminated the shoulder that was eliminated the high waist that. So you can see that. So if you want to reach us on WhatsApp, you can reach us with the link. You can just click on the link in the description box and chat with us directly on WhatsApp. So if you want to reach us on call, you can reach us with the number displayed on the screen. So this book is available for sale on Amazon if you're not in Nigeria. If you're in Nigeria, you can order the e-copy. You can also order the hard copy. So this is it. So these are the patterns. These are the patterns. You can see how cute it looks. It looks adorable. See every student's work that you see on my page on Instagram. You can follow us on our socials, on Instagram, on TikTok. We are also on Facebook. I'll also send the link to our pages in this video. So if all those dresses you see, this was exactly the same pattern that you used. So just know that I'm giving you exactly what I've given to my physical students in terms of pattern making. So here you don't want the space to be too pointy, so you can just eliminate the points by blending it a little bit, cutting out the excess with the scissors. Then we'll cut off here. So you can see how beautiful it looks. I'm going to just add this sewing allowance to one side so that you can see how we do it. I'm also going to add 4 inches to this other side so that it balances up. So for the side pieces, we're not adding any sewing allowance. For the center back, we're not adding any sewing allowance. For this cut join pieces, we're adding sewing allowance to them. So I'm going to use a masking tape to do this. So in the absence of a masking tape, I'm going to use my extra pattern paper and pins for this demonstration, because I want to show you how the sewing allowance is going to be added for each of the patterns. So I'll just show you with this particular pattern, then you can go ahead to add your sewing allowance on other patterns. And the reason I don't add sewing allowance to my fabric is that you can add to the fabric and you forget to add to the lining and all other inconsistencies, and I don't like that. So I just add it to the pattern once and I forget about the sewing allowance. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold the pattern down with a pin. Okay, so I can hold it down with a pin. Let me attach to the left before I start attaching to the right. I usually don't add sewing allowance to my armhole. It's just a personal preference. So you do what works for you. You can adjust this pattern to work with your own pattern. So I'm adding half-inch sewing allowance up until the high waistline. Then I want to get to the hemline. At the hemline proper, I'll add my 5 inches. This is the back piece pattern. Okay. So for the front, I'm also going to add 5 inches from here. Then I'm going to add half-inch here. Use your pencil for your drafting. I'm not being too accurate with my sewing allowance adding. This is just about one of my sweetest patterns ever. This 12-piece Madame blouse pattern. It's so beautiful. It's a high in demand pattern. So if you would learn it, practice it. Please, when you post, just tag me on social media or on Instagram at EREX Fashion, and this is it. So we're going to go up from the very hemline. We'll go up by 1 inch. Then you can use your French curls or your free hand to connect it. Most times I use free hand. So you use free hand to connect it. Guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to see you in the next training video. Bye bye. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe. Thank you.